So there is abstraction versus there is interface. And when we talk about abstraction, right, so interface means interface means complete abstraction. Complete abstraction. So let's take an example. First, we'll take the example of abstraction. Say I have a class of student and I want to make this class abstract class. So what I will do, first thing from ABC, import ABC and abstract. So this line is basically used to achieve the abstraction in Python, right? So this is the class which is in the ABC model, and this is the function. Abstract, abstract method is basically the function. This function helps in achieving the abstraction. Now, when I'm talking about just abstraction, not the interface, I can have two type of methods. Let's say, for example, I'd say DEF full name, full name. Now, to make this class abstract, I need to inherit it to ABC from ABC. So I need to inherit this class from the ABC. Now this is the, now you can say that this class is abstract class. And also this method is abstract method. So if you want to make some method abstract method, which only the definition, not the body, you will say at the rate abstract. So here you can say define full name self. Here you can say pass. Similarly, I have another abstract method. So define address, and here it is also pass. Student, let's say, because I am writing the program for the abstraction, I can also have a general program or general method which is not abstract, which has the body. Let's say display country. Some dot country. So directly say print India. Now you need to understand this. This is not the complete abstraction because this class is having abstract method as well as the normal method, right? So this is abstract class, not interface. You cannot call this interface. When you basically write something as interface, you won't be having any method with the body. So this is not complete abstraction. This is partial abstraction. This is basically a partial abstract class. But also you cannot create object of the abstract class. So this class student, you cannot create object of it. Okay. So if you try to create object of student, it will throw you the error, right? You save this and if you run this, it will throw you the error. Cannot instantiate abstract class with abstract method address and full name. Then why? Then if you cannot create object, then what should be done? This abstract class needs to be inherited by the regular class. Okay. So let's say we have class of teacher, which basically inherits student. And then we say, let's say I'm writing another class, let's say class of professor. Again, inheriting student. Now we can create the object of teacher and professor. But the condition is that when you basically inherit any abstract class, the first thing this classes needs to do is to basically have the method for this, have the proper definition for this abstract methods. So first, teacher have to implement this full name and teacher has to implement this address methods. Similarly, professor also needs to implement this full name and professor also has to implement this display country method. Sorry, address method. So whenever you basically inherit any abstract class, first thing which you need to do is to basically give the definition for the abstract methods. Okay. Let's say, for example, here I need to, if I try to create the object of teacher, it will throw me the error, right? Let's say, for example, I will try to create the object of teacher. Right click and run this. See, cannot instantiate abstract class teacher with the abstract method address and full name. I need to, because I have inherited an abstract class, I need to give the body for this abstract method. So let's write now. Let's say display full name. Let's say I'm writing just the hard coded value. And another will be this display address. Uh, now I can create the object of Chinmay as well as I can create the object of teacher as well as I can create the object of professor. Because I have implemented the abstract methods and now there will be no error. So there should be a question from your side. Why we basically has two abstract and one this method? Why cannot we have all the abstract methods? Why there is this one common not abstract method in this abstract class? Any answers? Because across all the classes, I want this method as common, right? That is why I kept it in the abstract class. Okay? Because on teacher reference variable or on this, what is a professor reference variable, I want this to be common method. That's fine. And the methods which basically you don't want it as common, you basically override it. Where you override it? In the inherited classes. Okay. Right click. So this is the example of abstract class. Why this is an example of abstract class? Because it has both methods, abstract methods as well as the normal methods. I hope this much is clear. This much is clear. Now let's take the example of complete interface. Okay. Now let's take one more example of this. Let's say, for example, graph 2. I am audible, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's take example for a car. Let's try one more example of the abstract class. So you will get the idea. Let's say I am writing car, say ABC. So this is basically the constructor I have set up. And here I have set up registration number equal to registration number. Self dot. Say open tank, I have one method which is not abstract method. Let's say fill the pair the tank. Then I have here is DEF tank. Say I'm just printing the registration number which I set up with the constructor self dot registration. Now this both thing will be common across all the class, right? Another basically now I'm writing the abstract methods. So at the rate abstract when I'm writing the abstract methods and say steering. Abstract method will not have the body. So you just need to write the definition and say pass. Similarly, another abstract method. Now let's say I created the class out of it. Let's say I created Maruti class and which inherits this abstract class method. Now what Maruti has to do first? Maruti has to implement this on abstract methods. So DEF steering. So it's sort of rule that if you want to connect with me, you need to have this definition for the abstract method. If you want to consider yourself as a car category, you need to basically have the steering and braking system, right? So here that's a steering. So I say print, I say manual, step, DEF braking. Let's say Maruti has print lesson, acrylic brakes. Let's say I have another class, say Audi. If I want the Audi to be considered as, let's say, car, I need to import it. First thing I need to do is basically implement the abstract methods. So it should not be ABC. It should be inheriting bar. Similarly, audio also should inherit the bar. First thing is to give the definition to the first thing is basically to give definition of abstract methods. So I'm just copy pasting this here. Let's say automatic steering, and braking wheels. Let's say gas brakes. What is the takeaway from here? Again, if you want to consider yourself as a car, you need to basically have these methods implemented in your class. This can be achieved too, and this will be the common across all the car type. Okay, so I can create the object only of Maruti and Audi. I cannot create of object of car because it's an abstract class. Because and when you say something is abstract class, then they have one at least minimum one of the abstract methods. If I go down here, I create the class of create the class of Maruti. And on the Maruti, I can basically call out on three methods. Say Q6, which is equal to Audi. Here also I can call out of the three methods. Which three methods? Say you can call here let's say dot braking. X Z dot A. You right click and run this. Need to pass registration number, right? Because parent is basically setting up the constructor. 1, 2, 3. Then it will work. Here also, you need to pass the registration number. And also Q6, also on Q6, you can call braking. Also Q6, you can call steering. And on both of this, there is a common method is open tank, right? You can basically call this method Q6 dot and take the see. Now this is the example of abstract class. Now if you want to achieve complete abstraction, which is interface, you will have only abstract method. You will not have the normal method. You will only have the abstract methods. And when you only have the abstract method, that is complete, that is called as interface, right? So let's take an example. Third example. Example of, let's say, complete abstraction. So this is an example of interface. So let's say from already we have imported this, right? So interface will be achieved in same way. Only you need to remember when you're basically writing an interface, you should be only having the abstract methods. Let's say, for example, let's say class, my class. This class is Let's say inheriting ABC to achieve abstraction. Let's say I'm writing two methods, connect and disconnect. So abstract class, that's why I'm writing only class. Now this class is a complete, this class can be called as interface because it has only the abstract methods, not the normal methods. Okay. Let's let's write the class which inherit the interface, right? Let's write Oracle and Oracle inherit my class, right? So if Oracle inherits my class, first thing he need to do is to basically have the definition for the unimplemented methods or abstract methods. Let's say, for example, you will have to write the class, this class. Again, let's say, for example, I have another MySQL, another database, MySQL. MySQL also inherits my class. So it will basically again have these two methods, which is connect and disconnect. Now, let's say, for example, I want to connect. So I want user to input me, right? So I'm creating another class here now. So this is called as interface, right? Because interface only has the abstract methods. I have created the two classes which basically inherits the interface, or what you say implements the interface. And I have given the methods for the methods definition for the unimplemented methods. Now I'm creating another class. Let's say, for example, I'm calling that class as database. Now from this class of database, I'm asking user for the database name. So say input, enter the class name or database name. So if you have two databases now, right? You have Oracle and you have MySQL, right? So user is expected to enter one out of, right? Now what you need to do, he enters a string and you need to convert the string into the class name. So converting the string into the class name. So how you will be convert the string into the class name? This is should be the question. So there is a globals method, and to that you need to pass the string which the user has input, right? So to this global method, as a parameter, index parameter, you need to pass the name, and that will be the class name. Now this will be converted as class name. After that, what you need to do, you need to just create the object of this class name, whatever the user has converted. So whatever the string user has input, that will be converted to class name by this method. Now this will be your class name and I am creating the object of that class name. And on that class name, whatever the user has entered, you will have the two methods. Which two method? You will have connect. You will have connect method and you will have disconnect method, right?
Disconnect.
Yeah. So this is fine. Let's try to run this. We try to run this. So it is asking me for the database name, right? So let's say I input the database name as Oracle. So this string will be converted. So this line will convert that string. This line will convert that string into class name. Now I'm creating the object of Oracle class name. And I will basically calling out these two methods, which is connected to Oracle or this connected. I am connect to Oracle DB. I am disconnected from Oracle DB. Yeah. So if you right click and run this, here I am writing Oracle and I enter C. I am connected to Oracle DB and I am connected to disconnected from Oracle DB. If you right click and run, and if you basically mention the class as MySQL, and you will have I'm connected to MySQL DB, I am disconnected from MySQL DB. So this is the example of interface, right?
So this is calling both connect and disconnect, not the one.
Come again.
Like this is calling when you're doing it, writing it, it's calling connect and disconnect both function.
Yeah, both, right? Because I have written here, right? Disconnect and disconnect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I am taking the class name from the user and I'm converting that to the class name, right? So this code will help me to convert it into a class name. Whatever the user enter, this is my class name. I'm creating the object of that class name only. And on that class name reference variable, I connected this connect and disconnect method. Right? Based on the database, based on the string I entered, that will be converted to class name. This line is responsible for creating the objects, and then you can have connect and disconnect methods. Is this fine?
Yes.
The try catch will start tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow we'll start with this topic, exceptions. And exceptions, we will basically start with, let me give you the introduction. So there will be three types of error. Let's say compile time error, there will be runtime errors, there will be logical errors. Okay. These three types of errors are there. Okay. One by one we will discuss, and where our topic is basically to manage this kind of errors, which are runtime errors. Or let's say, just let's discuss for the 5 minutes. Let's say, for example, I have given DEF, ABC, and print hello, this function, and I'm calling this function. So your syntax errors, right? I will be allowed to run this, but there will be a syntax error, right? Such type of error are compile time error. Compiler throws you the error, right? So this is called as compile time error. Syntax errors are compile time errors. Syntax error. Let's say runtime error. What are runtime errors? Let's say, for example, I am writing here print hello. Then I am writing here print 10 divided by 0. And then I am writing here print by. And let's say here I am writing A comma B. And I am taking this A and B from the user. So I am saying input, convert that into the string input. Put enter the number. Input the second number. And you basically do A divided by B, right? Convert that into integers first. Now you are not aware what user will enter, right? He can enter anything. Let's say, for example, if okay, let's say he entered 10 and he entered 0. Now 10 divided by 0 will raise an exception, right? See, which is 0. So 0 division error, right? Division by 0. This exception is raised. I have printed the hello, and then this line causes the exception. My program is halted, right? So this is called as runtime errors, where I am not aware what user will input, and based on it, certain exceptions can be raised, right? So these are called as runtime errors, and this has to be managed with exceptions that we'll see tomorrow. Exceptions. Third type of error is logical error, which is a human mistake. Let's say, for example, you have a salary Salary is, let's say, 15,000. And I want to calculate the 10% hike on this and calculate the total salary, hike salary, hike salary. So you will get the salary and you will basically return, you need to return salary into 10% of salary. And let's say you called it hike salary and passing that to salary to. So I'm expecting the total salary, but here I'm not getting total salary. I will be getting only the hike salary. Let's comment this first. Let's comment this as well. So I'm only getting the hike salary. So this is my error, right? I am making human errors, right? Because I need to, if I know total salary, I want to calculate 10% of this plus salary, right? So now if I run this, I will be getting the total hike salary. Yeah. So this is called as logical error, where you have made the mistake in writing the logic. We will continue tomorrow with try catch.
Can you put this code into GitHub?
Come again?
And can you upload this code into the GitHub since there's no videos
Yeah,
right now?
I will just forward the code. Yes. Yes.
Also, can we get the YouTube video links, please? That really helps for practice.
Yeah.
After Ops 4, I did not find the recording.
Yeah, I think so. 3 are upload. Two or three will be missing. I will check. I will check that after 2 hours, right?